Hello and welcome back to the Canary channel. Today we have another game week prediction. This is game week 2. Off the back of last week, I will show the leaderboard in just a second, but it was not a good week for me last week. So James came in, absolutely smashed it. For those who have not seen the previous video, we are running a game week competition until the end of the season. You get 1 point for the correct result, 3 points for the correct score, and then you can boost one score / result before the game week starts, and then you get double points there. I ended up with 4 points. I got the correct result for the Southampton game, correct result for the West Brom game, and the correct result for the Leicester game, which I had boosted. James actually ended up with 12 points. So you got correct score in the Birmingham, Charlton and Middlesbrough game, and then you got the correct result in the Southampton, Stoke and Leicester game, and he had boosted the Norwich game, which obviously he predicted a Norwich win, which didn't happen. So he's already top of the leaderboard by quite a margin on me. He's on 12 points. This week we have Stuart with his game week predictions. So we'll go through all of these. If you want to be part of it, leave a comment down below. If you want to be a part of it and you want to kind of do the game week predictions 1 week. And then you can also follow us on X at Canaries Chat with 2 T's at the end. Give us a follow on there and drop us a message on there, or drop us kind of a post to say that you're interested in doing it, and we can get you on for next week or the week after. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So Derby versus Coventry is the first game. Me and Stuart have actually gone for the same result. We've gone 2-1 Coventry. Coventry obviously drew to Hull last week 0-0. With Derby, how did Derby do? They lost 3-1 to Stoke. So yeah, I think we've both gone for the safe option there of 2-1 Coventry. Portsmouth versus Norwich. So I obviously went with a 1-1 draw last week. That did not work. And James obviously went for a 2-1 win Norwich. Slightly less optimism. Maybe this was because these were done before the Watford game, but we've actually both gone 1-1. I think Portsmouth is always a tricky place to go to. I believe we drew 0-0 with them last year, and obviously they smashed us at our place towards the end of the year. So I think 1-1's not a terrible shout. I think if you can draw your away matches, win your home matches, you should be in a decent position, but I still think we're going to have time for gelling. And yeah, I don't think this is now kind of a guaranteed win or anything like that. Portsmouth did win 1-0 at the weekend as well, to Oxford, which for them is a big win. I think they'll both be lower half of the table, so any wins they can get over each other there is big. But yeah, we've both gone for 1-1, so we've agreed there as well. We've actually agreed as well on the Wrexham West Brom game, so we've both said 2-2 Wrexham West Brom. I think that'll be an interesting one. I think Wrexham obviously did relatively well against Southampton, and then it kind of slipped towards the end in regards to that. It was a close-ish game, but it nearly felt inevitable that Southampton weren't going to pull that back. West Brom, they ended up winning 1-0 against Blackburn, did have a player sent off as well. So yeah, I think 2-2 be a good game. Be interesting to see how that one unfolds. Birmingham Blackburn, I've gone 1-0 Birmingham. I think they looked relatively sharp against Ipswich. I think Ipswich were very lucky to get away with the point there, with kind of some of the decisions they had fall their way. In regards to Stuart, he's gone 1-1 Blackburn. As previously mentioned, they did lose to West Brom, and West Brom did have 10 men. But however, I do think yeah, it could be a close one. Birmingham's first away game. They don't have all the fans behind them this time, although Blackburn are normally very generous with their away ends. So I'm sure Birmingham fans will still make their voices heard there. But yeah, I've gone 1-0 Birmingham. Stuart's gone 1-1 Blackburn Birmingham. We have both boosted the same game, and that is the next game. So that is Bristol versus Charlton, and we've actually both gone for the same results. So I promise you, I'll do mine before anyone sends them in. And then, yeah, so Stuart and myself haven't talked about these at all. Obviously, he is a member of the channel. He is a good friend. And yeah, we maybe just spend too much time with each other to know what we're thinking. But yeah, we've gone 3-0 for Bristol. I think they had a very good game against Sheffield United. Sheffield United are no mugs. I know they've got Sells in, and he gave them kind of a public dressing down in front of the fans after that. But yeah, I think Bristol look decent. I think they're always going to be in and around kind of that 8th to 6th position. So, and obviously they got playoffs last year. Could this year be the year that they get a little bit further? Who knows? But we've both gone with 3-0. Obviously Charlton as well had a very good result against, I believe it was Watford. Yeah, it was 1-0 1-0 Charlton against Watford. So there may be no pushover. We might be underestimating them here, but we've both gone 3-0. Millwall Middlesbrough, I think after seeing Millwall and how they played against us, I've gone 1-0 Millwall. Stuart has gone 2-1 Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, yeah, won 1-0 against Swansea. I actually thought Swansea may win that game. But yeah, I've gone Middlesbrough, a Millwall 1-0, and Stuart's gone 2-1 Middlesbrough. Preston Leicester. So I've gone 2-1 Leicester. Stuart's gone 3-0 Leicester. I personally think it'll be a little bit closer than that. I know Preston, who did they play? Yeah, it was 1-1 against QPR. I actually think QPR are going to be relatively all right this year. So the fact that Preston got a decent result there. Leicester weren't overly convincing against a Sheffield Wednesday team that are kind of in turmoil at the moment. So yeah, I think it'll be slightly closer than 3-0, but at least we're not going the same exact score on that one as well. Sheffield Wednesday versus Stoke, I've gone 1-0 Stoke, and Stuart's gone 2-0 Stoke. Again, I think unfortunately too much stuff in the background going on at Sheffield Wednesday. I thought they put in a great performance against Leicester last time out. They really deserved something from that game. I think there was only, I can't remember the exact amount, but there was a very small amount of players in the Sheffield Wednesday team that had more than kind of like 20 championship appearances. So they really kind of dug in deep and tried their best to get a result, and unfortunately they couldn't hang on to that. So, but I do just think with everything going on at the moment that unfortunately, yeah, that does come into play, and I think Stoke will win that one. Watford QPR, I've gone 1-1. Stuart's also gone 1-1. So obviously, as I said, Watford lost, QPR drew last game. I think after seeing Watford's second half performance against us, when they brought on more of their experienced players, they look an okay outfit, but I do think QPR are quite good as well. But obviously with QPR being away from home, obviously it does favour Watford a little bit more. So yeah, I'm happy with 1-1. Stuart's gone 1-1 there. We've got Swansea Sheffield United. I've gone 2-1. Stuart's gone 3-1 Sheffield United. So both expecting a Sheffield United bounce back after that demolition Bristol brought to them. So yeah, I'd expect Sheffield United to start picking up sooner rather than later. If they don't, I think sales will be gone very quickly. But yeah, both going for a Sheffield United win with Swansea to score. Ipswich Southampton. So I've gone 2-2. Again, I don't think Southampton looked okay against Wrexham, could have been better. And I think Ipswich were a very similar performance, both against newly promoted teams. I don't think either of them looked overly convincing. However, I do think there's goals to be had for both of them. I think some of the opportunities Birmingham had and Wrexham had, that if they're against slightly better opposition, I do think they would have finished that a lot better than what Birmingham and Wrexham did. So I do think there's goals to be had. I've gone 2-2, and Stuart's actually gone 2-1 Southampton, but he is a Norwich City fan, so I feel like he couldn't bring himself to let Ipswich have any points there. And then the final game week game is Hull versus Oxford. I've gone 1-0. Stuart's gone 2-1 Hull. Obviously, Hull were playing Coventry and drew. Very good result away from home. Coventry were tipped to be third favourites, I believe, for the league. So that is a very good performance for Hull there. Oxford, obviously, they were playing. Who were they playing? It was Portsmouth game that we had already mentioned. So they did lose 1-0 there. However, I don't think Hull will be kind of in and around it come the end of the season. I think they'll be in a similar position to Oxford. I really like kind of the way Oxford have gone about things, and I think Gary Rowett's a very good manager, and they'll start picking up a few points here and there. So that's where I'm predicting their first points of the season to come from, is a draw to Hull, where Stuart thinks Hull will win 2-1 there. So that is all the games for this game week. Leave a comment down below on what you think the predictions. I obviously think they're relatively solid, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of you that disagree there. If you want, as I said, to be part of this series, drop a comment down below, and we will look to get you on. And then most of all, if you've enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video very soon.